Welcome to my views and news. Some new stories for you from Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Sudan. Firstly, viewers, rapidly evolving security situation in Gojam, where security forces reportedly opened fire at protesters in West Gojam. Two casualties are being confirmed in Dambicha since last night. An operation has been underway against Fano fighters, but now in Dambicha and two other towns, people are protesting, blocking roads, blocking ENDF convoys, stopping them from moving towards Dambicha. Protests, firing, several developments happening. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopia is demanding 20 billion US dollars from international community for reconstruction. Discussions were held today in Addis Ababa with participation of diplomats, foreign diplomats, Ethiopian government officials. Thirdly, viewers, a new TPLF applied for registration. TPLF was declared a terrorist party. It was reinstated by the parliament. NEBE, National Election Board of Ethiopia, refused to restore TPLF. Another TPLF applied for registration. What did NEBE reply? Fourthly, viewers, Biniam Girmay was simply amazing today. He won stage 2 of a race, cycling race today. I think it was held in Switzerland. And the final sprint was just amazing. Lastly, viewers, IGAD meeting was held in Djibouti today. IGAD a few weeks ago formed a committee of 3 presidents to mediate between rapid support forces and Sudanese military. Presidents from Djibouti, South Sudan and Kenya were nominated to mediate in Sudan. But now two other countries' leaders have been added, including Ethiopian PM Abiy. Lastly, a top Sudanese general has been killed. His family has confirmed he died in yesterday's fighting after ceasefire came to an end and Sudanese military launched new offensives on several fronts. Where did he die? Who is he? Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Gojam, where we know that Amhara Fano fighters have been trying to organize themselves. Skandar is leading them. Skandar tried to organize Fano fighters in East and West Gojam. We saw heavy fighting in East Gojam in Debre Ilyas last week. Their government claims more than 200 Fano fighters were killed. Then West Gojam. Since last night, fighting has been ongoing in Dambicha. Dambicha is in West Gojam. Reportedly, clashes are between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military. And today, people rose in support of Fano fighters, which was very much expected. We saw that in Gondar too, we saw that in some parts of Shoa too, and now it is happening in Gojam. In 3 cities of Gojam, reportedly, people protested today. They blocked roads. They stopped Ethiopian National Defense Forces convoys, stopped them from moving towards the area where operation is being conducted against Fano fighters. First city, Dambicha. In Dambicha, there were protests today. Several roads were blocked by youth in Dambicha. Secondly, Jiga. Jiga is between Finote Silam and Dambicha. In the last video, I showed you a picture which is from near Jiga. In Jiga, youth, some Orthodox church elders, they blocked the road. they stopped Ethiopian National Defense Force from moving towards Dambicha from Finot Islam. ENDF convoy had to retreat from Jiga. And thirdly, Finot Islam, viewers, a city in West Gojam. In Finot Islam, there were protests today, roads were blocked. And security forces, Ethiopian army tried to disperse the protesters. There was a law and order situation. Security forces opened fire. Ethiopian army opened fire. 2 youth were killed in the firing by security forces in Finot Islam today. On Monday, 4 were injured. It has been confirmed through some sources on the ground. Finot Islam, Jiga, Dambicha. In all these 3 towns, we are seeing protests, confrontation between Ethiopian army and Amhara youth. It is becoming increasingly difficult for Ethiopian army to continue its operation in Dambicha. At the same time, we are hearing rumors that dozens of Ethiopian army soldiers have been injured. They are being treated at Finot Islam hospital. I don't know. So, in these 3 cities, Finot Islam, Jiga and Dambicha, security situation is deteriorating. Ethiopian army is being confronted by local Amhara youth. The pattern we saw in Gondar, in Shoa, is being repeated here. Fano fighters know that they can only survive if they manage to get public support. And where they get public support, it becomes almost impossible for Ethiopian army to continue operation against them. We saw that in Gondar, entire city was blocked. Roads were blocked. Mass suffering could not be arrested, and Ethiopian army had to retreat. It had to withdraw towards its camps in Gondar city. Same to some extent happened in Showa too. And again in Gojam. It's difficult to say what did Ethiopian army achieve from its operation in Dambicha. Rumors going around that that Ethiopian army has suffered losses again, but no confirmation so far. Overall, what Amhara activists want, what Amhara Fano fighters want is happening. They want the people to rise, to support Fano fighters and to stand up to Ethiopian army, to confront Ethiopian army. And if this confrontation goes on, if protests intensify, believe me, it would become difficult for Ethiopian army to continue the security operation in Gajam. Already we saw a social media campaign accusing Ethiopian military that the Ethiopian military killed innocent civilians in Debre Ilyas, though military denied Debre Ilyas, what the government denied. They said that Fano fighters were using Debre Ilyas monastery as a base for training, for recruitment. But an attempt was made to make people support Fano by launching anti-government, anti-Ethiopian army narratives in social media. So already Ethiopian army, Ethiopian government, Amhara government are facing problems in Gajam, in Gondar. But operations are continuing and people are supporting, to some extent, they are supporting Fano factions. Let's see. Try to give you a better view. So far, in 3 cities of West Gajam, Finot Islam, Dambicha and Jiga, there were protests, roadblocks today on Monday. Another news story is about a new TPLF. TPLF was declared a terrorist party in 2021. It was restored. The ban was lifted by Ethiopian Parliament. Terrorist designation was removed, but NABE, National Election Board of Ethiopia, did not restore TPLF as a political party, Nebbe, asked TPLF to apply for a new registration. TPLF refused to apply for a new registration. It wrote a letter to the mediators to Pretoria deal. It is demanding restoration of its political status. Meanwhile, another party has requested for registration by the same name, TPLF. It submitted application to National Election Board of Ethiopia. National Election Board of Ethiopia today released a statement rejecting the request of this new party, which wants to be registered as TPLF. Who is behind this party? Someone from Tigray, someone from other parts of Ethiopia, other part of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, I don't know. But Nebbe has rejected the application for registration by this new TPLF. TPLF wants its status to be restored. It is in talks with African Union. It raised the issue reportedly with Mike Hammer, US Special Envoy, who visited Mekelle a few days ago. So far, TPLF is not eligible to contest any election in Tigray. It is not a political party according to Ethiopian law. Let's see what happens. New party failed to get registration by the name of TPLF. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian government is in need of 20 billion US dollars for reconstruction. Discussions were held today in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Foreign diplomats were there. National Reconstruction Commission head was there. Ethiopian government officials were there. Regional government officials were there. Meetings were held about reconstruction plan. What was the damage caused by the 2-year-long war, and what are the needs of the government? And now Ethiopian authorities have shared a number. Government claims that economic loss suffered by Ethiopia in the 2-year-long war stands at 28.7 billion US dollars, and government needs 20 billion US dollars for reconstruction to be completed. Today, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia requests international community to step up donations, step up investments and assistance for reconstruction, rehabilitation work in Tigray, Amhara, other parts of Ethiopia. Now, my point is that Ethiopian government should ensure that the money would be in safe hands. Serious allegations have been leveled by USAID and World Food Programme that aid was stolen, food aid was stolen in Tigray. How would the world trust Ethiopian government if Ethiopian government officials are involved in aid theft, if they are smuggling wheat, flour into neighboring countries? So government should try to make a transparent mechanism for this reconstruction, rehabilitation work. Otherwise, international community will find it difficult to trust the government. So Ethiopian government has shared numbers now. It needs 20 billion US. Can international community give this much money to Ethiopia? Because keeping in view that Europe, America, all countries are facing several problems, economic challenges, inflation, several issues are being faced by international community, and aid organizations, they have their own concerns. So it's going to be a challenge for Ethiopian government to receive 20 billion US dollar and to get commitment for 20 billion US dollar. It's a huge demand from the government. Let's see how international community tackles the situation. Ethiopia needs money. No one can deny that. Tigray devastated, Amhara region, Somali region, parts of Somali region devastated by drought, in Oromian drought as well. Yes, you need money. money for reintegration of armed fighters too, money for rehabilitation of education, health sectors. So a lot needs to be done, but what is needed is credibility. Government should show to the world that the money, if donated, will be in safe hands. Fourthly, viewers, Biniam Girmay was amazing today. Eritrean cyclist once again stunned international cycling community. Second stage of Tour de Suisse, which is a cycling race in Switzerland, was won today by Biniam Girmay. He is part of Intermarche CW, a cycling team, and this second stage was around 173 kilometer long, a mountainous area, and when Biniam and other cyclists were just meters away from finish line, there were more than 10 cyclists. All were cycling neck and neck. And suddenly Biniam Girmay showed his class. His final sprint was amazing. This is the first time that an African cyclist has won a stage of this cycling race in Europe. Biniam is shining on world stage. He represents Eritrea. And Eritrea is definitely a cycling giant. No one can deny that in Africa, two Eritrean teams have been dominating African cycling events. Now, on world stage as well, Biniam Girmay, especially Biniam Girmay, is shining. He's representing Eritrea, promoting soft image of this country. Lastly, viewers, Ethiopia is also going to mediate in Sudan along with other countries. IGAD held a meeting today. We know that a session of IGAD was held in Djibouti today, and presidents from several countries attended the meeting, heads of state. 8-member IGAD met in Djibouti. From Ethiopia, PM Abiy, Kenya, Ruto, President, Ismail Omar, Djibouti, President, Hassan Sheikh, President of Somalia, Salva Kiir, South Sudan's President, were there. From Eritrea, Usman Saleh, Foreign Minister, was there. From Uganda, Museveni could not attend. He is suffering from COVID-19, I think. He sent a Foreign Minister. From Sudan, Vice Chairman of Sovereignty Council, Malik Agar, was there. You know, when the war broke out in Sudan in April, back then IGAD nominated 3 IGAD presidents, President of Djibouti, Somalia, President of Djibouti, South Sudan and Kenya, to mediate between rapid support forces and Sudanese military. That initiative could not produce any results. We saw that US and Saudi Arabia took the lead, and talks were held in Jeddah. Some ceasefires announced, 3 ceasefires announced after talks in Jeddah. One was fully implemented around 48 hours ago, 24-hour long ceasefire. Today, IGAD has extended its team of mediators after today's meeting in Djibouti. Now, 5 countries' heads are going to mediate on behalf of IGAD between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military. 3 already mentioned, Kenyan, Djibouti's and South Sudan's presidents. 4th one is PM Abiy from Ethiopia. 5th one, Hassan Sheikh, Somalia's president. So entire IGAD is there, it means, because 8-member country, 5 mediating, 6th one is Sudan, 7th one Eritrea, which likes to take solo flights, and last one is Yoweri Museveni. He is facing, he's battling with COVID, so he's not there to mediate. It means entire IGAD is going to mediate now between rapid support forces and Sudanese military. Can this effort succeed? Let's see. Sudanese military is responsive to IGAD's mediation. Rapid support forces are more in support of Western and Arab mediation. Let's see. Meanwhile, a top Sudanese general has been killed in the ongoing war in Sudan. Yesterday, when 24-hour-long ceasefire came to an end, we saw resumption of heavy fighting in Sudan. And in that resumption of fighting, basically Sudanese military launched major offensives. A top Sudanese general was killed yesterday. His name is Abdul Rahman Al-Tayyab. He is a brigadier general. So you see that a top officer of Sudanese military rank, brigadier general. His family has confirmed that he has been killed. We heard of General Abdul Rahman when there was tension on Ethiopia-Sudan border. Sudan took control of Al-Fashaga on Ethiopia-Sudan border. Al-Fashaga has been under the control of Ethiopian farmers for years. But when the war broke out in Ethiopia, Sudanese military took advantage of the position and took back Al-Fashaga. There were clashes on Ethiopia-Sudan border, and back then I remember that Abdul Rahman was seen on Sudan, side of Sudan, Ethiopia border, leading his troops. He has been killed reportedly. Where was he killed in yesterday's fighting? Some say he was killed on Halfay al-Maluk front. Halfay al-Maluk bridge, as I mentioned in a video this morning, it was split in terms of control. Eastern part was under RSF control, western part under Sudanese Army control. Sudanese Army launched an attack. It took control of eastern part too. And in that offensive, reportedly, General Abdul Rahman has been killed. Thank you for watching.